Hi everyone, welcome to our live. Happy New Year. I think this is our don't even think it is our
It
first
is a
live
first live.
of the year, and we are so excited to be back. We have both celebrated our birthdays, him yesterday, mine on the 5th. So it's honestly a new year in terms of growth, in terms of everything in our lives, and we hope that the same applies to you guys. So we just wanted to do a recap from where we last left you guys. I think our last live was about Congo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, we talked a lot about Congo and people joined, and things happened after that.
Yeah, so much happened. So much. In fact, since the beginning of the year, I think there's just so many things that have happened. So we just want to do a recap and catch up with you guys. I know for sure you missed us. We are here. We are live and we want to have a discussion with you guys. So I think we can do a recap of where we left off in terms of Congo.
Yeah,
When we had our last live, they were almost having their elections, and we were hopeful that a change, something new would come. You know, everybody's always excited for change, something new things, new positive growth. But well, the Congolese people decided, I don't know if it's the Congolese or
Yeah.
somebody else decided for them. But yeah, we saw Chikeledi.
Chisekedi.
The Congolese president was re-elected by 73%.
Yeah,
Never have I ever seen.
they elected, or he was elected with 73% against, I think the second person was like 18%. Then they went to the Constitutional Court, I think, to appeal. And the court confirmed that President
Had indeed won.
had won. So they have the new old president. Yeah.
So who are we to deny or to decline that win? At this point, I don't know. Maybe you guys will be the ones to congratulate him. But on our side, we'll just leave it there. So yeah, that is what happened. And the Congolese people are still suffering. He had promised that when he's re-elected, he will
invade Rwanda.
Yeah, he will invade
among
Rwanda.
other things. But of noting is, after he was re-elected, there were floods in the Congo. I think both Congos, big, huge, massive floods, in which I think about 300 people have passed on, and a lot of people, property, wasted or destroyed. So we are still feeling for Congo.
Oh man!
But we're
pray
hoping
for
that with this
change.
new term or whatever, he will be willing to serve his people.
It's like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe people change, things change.
Yeah.
We'll just wait and see, honestly.
So the new year came, we saw the president of Mali, Goita Assimi, and the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, giving these amazing New Year speeches, which we loved. And I know you loved our translation. And people were talking about them all through. Then came Ethiopia and Somalia. Yeah, Ethiopia and Somalia. So Ethiopia has always wanted to have a port and a navy, so they needed somewhere to do that, and they had asked Eritrea, Djibouti, and Somalia to give them some. They said no, but Ethiopia took a shortcut and went through Somaliland, and they signed a pact in which they got 20 miles of the shore, the Red Sea, in exchange for some shares or stock in the Ethiopian Airlines. A good deal. But a lot of things has been happening since then, and guys have been like, wow, this is not right. Somali people have been up in arms. Somali people saying Somali is sovereign and Ethiopia is not doing the right thing. And actually, they are not doing the right thing because some days before, Djibouti was trying to bring Somali and Somaliland together so that they can be back as one country, brotherhood, without being like divided. But after that,
just within those discussions, Ethiopia comes in and I think I can call it messes up all of these
because now there was these reports from the president of Somaliland that Ethiopia had accepted to give them support to confirm that they are actually sovereign. They needed them to recognize them their sovereignty. And Somaliland was like, we want to work together, we want to be one country again, and you're bringing a rift between us. Then we saw the Minister of Somaliland, I think it's defense, resigning. We saw Somalia signing a law which now confirmed what Ethiopia had done was wrong. We saw a lot of things. And finally, some days ago, we then saw Ethiopia and Somaliland holding talks on military cooperation. What does that tell you? They are holding talks on, military cooperation.
And we must never forget that the UN and AU have never declared Somaliland as a sovereign state. So this military, despite Somaliland having its own army, its own laws and all of these things, they are still not declared as a sovereign state. So there's just too much mix up in Somalia and Somaliland.
So, Ethiopia doing these holding talks with Somaliland on military cooperation means we are going to fight together.
So we are fighting who? Somali.
But anyway, we're hoping that these are brothers. Actually, if you go to Ethiopia, there's a region called Somali. It's actually Somali people who live there, and they are Ethiopians, Ethiopian Somali. And if you go to Kenya, the same.
There's a lot of Somalis.
It's Somali. You have an area.
It's more Somali.
No. It's Somali area. Garissa, Mandera, all those areas are Somali. If you go to Ethiopia, you find the people of Tigray. They speak Tigrinya. They are the people of Eritrea. So you see, it's all the same people.
Just want to welcome all of our viewers. At this moment, we can see you coming in and out. Thank you so much for joining us. We are just having a recap of how the year has started and how 2023 ended. You can just go back and rewatch maybe the beginning of what we have just currently discussed about Congo. Now we are on Ethiopia and Somalia.
Yeah. Then internationally, we saw South Africa representing Africa in a huge way, taking Israel to the International Court of Justice, supporting Palestine, because these guys have been through apartheid, and South Africa feels like this is something that they've been through, and they should also recognize. So they went and took these guys to court. They went on, was it on Wednesday or Thursday?
Just recently.
Thursday, then on Friday. Was it Thursday and Friday? And we are hoping that things will be going swiftly so that this war can stop.
Yeah,
because a lot of people. But there's something that we noted about the support that South Africa got. We have like 190 something countries in the world, and there are a lot of countries that supported South Africa, and weirdly, some African countries were not there, like Angola, Burundi, Kenya, Cabo Verde, Central African Republic, Comoros, Congo, DRC, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Eswatini, Ethiopia, Ghana, and a lot of many countries, Madagascar. But we also saw a lot of countries supporting South Africa, and we were happy for that.
And just to say that at least Mama Naledi Pando's efforts have bear some fruits.
Yeah.
Although someone was saying the judge is
American.
Yeah. So
and it's International Court of Justice.
Yeah. So we it's good that they are showing solidarity, but we do hope that justice will prevail at the end of the day.
Yeah. Exactly. Then on top of that, we saw US hating Yemen. We saw a lot of things happening internationally, but let's dwell on what is affecting us directly. Then we saw some event that really raised heads was the one in Ghana, the Pan-African Convention, which was organized by Mr. Jacob Caesar himself. aka Mr. Freedom, aka
Cheddar.
Nana Kwame Bediako, aka Cheddar. Yeah, he organized an event which invited Malema, he invited Arikana Chihomborikwao, Doctor, he invited Professor PLO Lumumba, he invited Peter Obi from Nigeria. But on that same day when this event was to happen, they cancelled it.
Yeah.
So
it has raised a lot of controversy and sparked a lot of debate.
Yeah. So what they did, they just had a press conference and they said this will continue whether not in Ghana, it will be going to another country. PLO Lumumba Prof was saying that it could go to Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou, Nairobi, Kenya, South Africa.
Anywhere else.
Yeah, anywhere else where they will be accepted. But a lot of guys are saying this guy wanted to, because he has political interest. He wants to run for president in Ghana, something of the sort. But a lot of people have come with a lot of debate saying he used these guys in a bad way. He's looking for clout. I don't know what. But my first question is this. Is it wrong for a native of a certain country, whether you have political interest or not, to organize for a conference which is not illegal?
Maybe let's start, which is
not illegal.
Let us start. Maybe we can start where this whole thing started. So the event was organized when in November. The government was informed in November and approval was given.
Yeah.
So green card, you can continue with the event.
Yeah.
Speakers, all of them were
invited, confirmed they are coming.
What is this event all about?
Pan-Africanism.
What about Pan-Africanism?
It's like we always have Pan-African events
to
wake up Africans.
Exactly. So that was the main purpose of the event.
Yeah, because we have a lot of brothers and sisters who are mentally colonized. They don't know.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this.
So when the government saw that this is a Pan-African event, they had no problem with that. Is one. When they saw the speaker, I know for sure, when you are asking for
of course you have to confirm
you have to say who is coming. So when they saw that this is Malema, there's your PLOs, there's your Mamarikana, and they still gave you a green light, that was good of the Ghanaian government. Exactly. That one we can commend them for doing that. And then now there are allegations. I just want to mention this whole thing as a controversy because there's just too many sources of information that are unverified. Some, well, most. The allegations that this guy, during that same day, his aim was to launch his political party, New Africa Foundation. Yeah,
I think that's a foundation that he has.
It's a movement, some movements of some sort.
What he was saying is he's already been working with the foundation. A foundation is something that helps the community. Yeah. But he was to launch, to come out and say, you know what, I'm running for presidency. Like he came out and said, I'm the man behind the mask.
But when he applied to get the licensing for this event, he had dubbed it as a Pan-African event.
And it was.
Yeah. And then now, the same day of the event, you want to come out and say you are running for president. So this is like campaigning, which in all countries, I don't think it goes that way. If it's a campaign or if it's a launch of a political party or movement, you need to go through maybe some different avenues.
Channels.
Yeah. You can't have a Pan-African. It's like saying, I'm going to have a gig. I'm going to be inviting artists and what. And then you have a political agenda on the side. So those are, okay, maybe that's a bad example because both of them are politics. But it was not meant for politics and party and whatever.
You know what he said was even Dr. Arikana, Professor PLO and Peter Obi confirmed this and said he didn't even tell them that he was running.
He didn't.
Because I also don't think that he wanted to come out on that day. I think what he wants to be is like Malema. Malema, when you see Malema in Kenya, you don't care that he's running for presidency in South Africa. You care about what he's going to talk about being a Pan-Africanist. So what Cheddar wants is to be that Pan-Africanist who's later saying he's running for presidency. Like, when you talk about Malema, we don't feel like Malema is for South Africa. We feel like Malema belongs, is ours.
African,
Even wherever you are, when you say Malema in the United States, in Brazil, when we say Malema, you're like, wow, Malema is ours, because he's fighting for us. He's helping us. He's waking up the African child. And I think that's what Cheddar wanted. He wanted to start with this Pan-Africanism movement and force, then later say, I'm also running because I want this for Ghana. But I don't think he wanted to say that on that day.
Well, now that is where the argument of most people comes in, because if you want to now say you are running for some political seat, you should have just said that you want to do this event for this purpose. Well, that is what most people disagree with.
Yeah.
Then, even for me, I think it's fishy. And if I was...
Yeah, it probably, but imagine you are not running a Ghanaian event, a national event. This was an international event. We saw guys complaining and say, I'm coming from United States, I'm coming from Europe, I'm coming from Liberia. People had come, even we saw Nigerians coming from Nigeria to come for this event.
And to listen to the speakers. It was not even about Nana.
Did you see the Liberian guy wearing an EFF cap? So it was not about Nana Kwame. Actually, it was more about PLO Lumumba and Arikana and Malema than this guy.
Well, I think because we didn't know who was behind it, that is the first thing to consider also. So my other question is, why didn't Malema come? Did he see this beforehand, or was he preoccupied by some things? Well, that's another question that maybe Malema himself can come out to say, I saw this coming. I had my own reservations about this whole event.
I can try to maybe speculate on something, because you remember when Malema was going to Kenya, that guy, it's like he wants to be there, talk and leave immediately, because there are campaigns in South Africa. He don't want to miss anything. He doesn't want to waste time. He wants to just get on a plane, land, travel to where you have the event, talk and leave. Probably he was preparing in South Africa, and he was told, wait up, you cannot come because it's already...
We have to meet ground forces in Mpumalanga.
Yeah, so probably he wanted to leave, or preparing to leave, and was told it has been cancelled in the morning. Because looking at what is going on in South African scene, I think this guy is very busy with campaigning to go to Ghana like yesterday for an event that probably it's today at 2 p.m. So he'd rather take time in the morning, leave, reach Ghana, then come back the other. And he has money now, he can use private jets.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Let's talk about the movement itself. So
the New Africa Foundation.
Yeah. You wanted to unveil yourself behind the mask, and the movement itself, looking at it, I've read and listened to a lot of speakers talking about it. Its policies are not yet stipulated.
They are not Pan-Africanist.
No, they are not even clear. Like, they are saying we are still working on the policies. Like, what kind of a movement doesn't have policies and you want to launch it? So that's another question that we may have, because if you want us to support or to rally behind your vision for Ghana and for Africa, you need to come out and say, this is what I want to do, this is what our movement is all about. But if you're still working on your movement and you're saying, rally behind me, just because you are an entrepreneur with money, we now have to believe that you have the interest of our country at heart. I don't know.
But the foundation, a foundation...
The movement.
Okay, probably not the foundation.
No, the movement.
Okay, the movement, like the political party.
Yes.
Okay, that we don't even know the name, because I don't think it was linked to that event or that day. Well, that's what I think. I don't think it was linked to that event. But for that day, what we knew as people who are Pan-Africanists, we are Pan-Africanists, right? It was to wake up our children, our brothers and sisters who are still mentally colonized, and to tell them, now it's time for Africa, it's time to rise and Nobody should stop us. You see, so I don't know. The foundation was supposed.
It's a new force movement. Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, he has another party.
Yeah.
So doing away with the new force movement, it's like African freedom, the EFF,
economic freedom fighters.
Okay, this is new force
movement.
New freedom.
New force movement.
New force movement. Okay, that's for Ghana. But what he had at that day was not for Ghana. It was international.
But I want us to look at this person. Like, who is Nana
Kwame
Bediako? Who is this guy behind the mask? We are unveiling his movement. We want to understand. The word might not be deeper because there's just so much controversy behind this whole thing. Now, another thing about this movement is that the spokesperson is a Belgian model. Yeah?
The
spokesperson of the New Force movement.
Okay, that's now the party.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the one who's the name of the lady is let me just get the name.
That's the spokesperson.
That's the spokesperson. Shalima Abuyusi. She's on Instagram. If you have Instagram, you can go check her out. So that's the spokesperson
of the
New
party.
Force movement by Nana Bediako.
But is it confirmed?
Yeah, she's the spokesperson. This one.
Let me ask you a question. Why does Malema, Julius Malema, use white bodyguards?
That's the question that we have for Nana Bediako.
Yeah, because he said it. He said it's because whenever I go to
rallies and these places where
if I have black,
a huge crowd.
Yeah, if I have black bodyguards, they don't have that force. Like these guys are scared of the whites, the people of South Africa, right? He said something like that. Probably this guy wants to, people to accept him because people are still sleeping.
Now, his reason for him getting this Belgian model, that is what makes me fear for Africa. He says that for Ghana, he says that he looked everywhere. He tried to reach out to some youths in Ghana. Nobody was interested. He even had some people who worked but wanted to do it like without uncovering who they are, unveiling who they are. So it's like a spokesperson, but you don't want to be known who you are. Looking at
what would you do in that case?
Me looking at Ghana and Africa as a whole, the level of unemployment, the level of Pan-Africanist. If this is really a Pan-Africanist movement, the New Force movement, I know for sure there could have been, even if it's just one Ghanaian, who would have said, I am taking up this role to do what is best for Ghana and for the youth and for the people. So for you to tell me that the whole, what's the population of Ghana? Probably millions of people in Ghana. All of them, not even a single Ghanaian. Where was this post even advertised for you to now say, I will fly to Belgium to get a model to be the face, to be the spokesperson of my movement? For me, but you cannot convince
let me tell you, when you become an entrepreneur, you become very choosy. You want the best, okay? You want the best. So probably when he tried to reach out to the best never wanted to be part of this.
But is this woman the best?
Probably that's the best he found.
Maybe we should do some research.
What I'm trying to say is he has employed this person. It's just employment, like Malema would employ. Okay, I've been following Nana Kwame even before anybody knew him.
Bodyguard. Bodyguard. Nobody even, unless, and if Malema's case of shooting in public, some public thing where they had a court hearing, which has been going on for years with that white guy, I know for sure we would have not known that Malema has a white bodyguard unless you see him in these events. Then you know, this guy has a white bodyguard. But for you to put this, spokesperson is like the face of an organization or a
spokesperson is the mouth.
That is when we think about New Force movement. Actually, the leader becomes even secondary from the because this person has to crisis control. They have the PR. They have all the work.
Who is the spokesperson of EFF?
I don't care because Malema has taken over.
Know. Okay.
No, I know.
It's the same thing.
Let me show you. This guy's no, it's not the same thing.
You don't
This
know.
person has to do everything for the party. If it's a crisis, you are the one to speak. Malema has well, I can call it a big mouth at this point. He can speak for himself. But in other parties, the spokesperson has to be there and be the one to speak.
The spokesperson is just a mouth.
For ANC, for example, what is this guy's name? The former Minister of Sports. Man, I've forgotten this name. But I can remember, when I remember, the Secretary General, that guy is the one who speaks on behalf of the ANC.
You know, you have the difference, a difference between the Secretary General and the spokesperson. When we talk about the government spokesperson, you give this person something and he has to speak as it's written to the letter. This person cannot just think out of his head and say, this is what my master would have said. This is just a mouthpiece. This is not someone who has any freedom to speak whatever he wants. It's just a mouth.
But at this point, we are looking at Pan-Africanism. And for me, the picture of Pan-Africanism, it's like the picture of God. If you were to create the picture of God in your head based on maybe reading the Bible, you have an image of what God looks like. Even heaven, we all have an image. So when we look at Pan-Africanism, we all have an image of what it looks like. You have people that you look up to, your Mama Aricanas, your Malemas, your Kwame Nkrumahs, all of these people. When they say Pan-Africanism, give me a name. You think of those people.
I'm skeptical about this because if this guy was to be, to bring out the Pan-Africanism, there's no way he would have seen this woman. No way. Because if he shows this woman, it means that it's over. It's done. Have you even seen people who sympathize to like you are fighting for the black people, then you kind of will align yourself to the white people, like the way we are seeing Oprah Winfrey, and people just wake up to realize this person is not with us. So I don't think this would have been seen. So I think people are digging up things, and we can. Let's rest this case and say we wait for Nana Kwame Bediako to speak about this, because I don't believe if this was Pan-Africanist, and we saw Mama Arikana Chihombori Kwao, we saw Professor PLO Lumumba, we saw Peter Obi. Okay, I didn't know Peter Obi to be Pan-Africanist, but him being there and his speech was good. So I don't think Nana Kwame would have brought out this Belgian as the face of his party. Yeah.
Now let's just conclude on this matter. The last thing that we need to note is that this guy calls himself the savior. So for me, you cannot be the savior. You cannot. Well, I think I'm just giving the negatives, honestly.
But I don't know. Where did you get that information? Because I know Mr. Freedom,
the African savior,
Mr. Jacob Caesar.
He even says that PLO and Mama Arikana and likened him to your Kwame Nkrumahs, But for me, I think he should not be the one to say what he is. Let the people.
He's reiterating
let the people.
What PLO and
let us as Africans say that. Wow, it's like your Burkina Faso junta leader, our man Traore. There's no way you will hear Traore saying, "I am the savior of Burkina Faso. I want to save Africa." His works speak for himself. So Nana Bediako, I think you are running too fast for me. Well, I think maybe you should just work. Let us see you doing things for Africa, for Ghana, and we will be the ones to say, what a man, what a young gentleman who's here to save Ghana, Africa from itself.
Nana Bediako, you have started very well. You have started very well, and we need that conference in somewhere in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, like Professor PLO said.
Hi, sister. Hi, Renee. Our sister here seems to be agreeing with me, right?
But what I'm saying is, of course, we need people to try. Because imagine that conference went ahead. Imagine that conference was not stopped. We would have seen a lot more Ghanaian woken up. You see?
Yeah.
So I think it's good. It was a good trial. Whether he boasts, whether he does, he should organize another one so that we can also travel and celebrate with our African brothers and sisters as we continue waking those who are still mentally colonized.
Yeah, it's not wrong to want to assume political office, but there's right, that is my conclusion, honestly. There are right channels to go about it, and just being clear to the people that you're inviting to support your agenda, because I think maybe Mama Arikana and PLO maybe had thought something else. I don't know, but they're very educated people.
I think according to what they say,
who should be doing their research before they attend some of these things. So we don't know what conclusion they came into to say we will support, we rally behind this young man. So, but Yako, it's very good that you want to help Ghana, but maybe you should have done it better. Some people would not have wasted their monies to travel to Ghana and only to be told you are not going to attend that event because it's going to be shut down, like even before it starts. So that was too ambitious, if I may call it. It should have been clear. I don't know what the Ghanaian government, what conclusion made them to say, because they never came out to say.
Are you supporting the Ghanaian government?
No, I'm not. Why would I support the They did not come out to say. They did not come out to say this is why you are shutting down the event.
So for me, I think what because I listen to them, I'm not listening to what the other guys are saying because it could be propaganda. What I think and what Mama Arikana Chihamburko said and what PLO said, when they received the invitation from Nana Bediako, they looked, they even told their secretaries to search for information regarding this guy. And what they saw made them feel proud because
to be part of it.
Because this is a young man who was inviting them, telling them we need to wake up our young people so that they can rally behind Pan-Africanism and to take over where we should have taken over, fight for our resources, process our resources, farm for our food, among other things that we need to do without waiting for the white savior. And that's why they came. And
he's been doing it himself. He's in real estate, has so many businesses, and, very successful.
What I said is I've been following, I like looking up to Africans, young Africans who have been doing things and who have succeeded. So what he did, bringing this conference to Ghana and to Africa, this was not a Ghanaian thing. This was an African thing. And that's why we saw even young people coming all the way from Nigeria, Liberia, coming to this event. So whether the government of Ghana was scared of the Pan-Africanist thing or was scared of him coming out to say, because if he stood at the very end of the conference and said,
by the way, I want to run for presidency.
I'm running for Ghana.
Yeah.
Actually, we could see like 20% of the people who were there were not even Ghanaian or even more than that. But that would have done anything because he still needs to go register his party, register with the Electoral Commission, do a real campaign, among other things. So I don't think this was right for the government of Ghana
to shut it down like that now.
Shut it down when very important people, actually very important, not that they don't know Arikana. Dr. Arikana is married to a Ghanaian.
She's Ghanaian.
Either
she's Zimbabwean, married to a Ghanaian.
Exactly, but we know a lot of things has been happening to Ghana. There's the IMF, SAP, strategic programs. So we don't know.
Powers from above.
Yeah, probably those powers from above was more above than the above we know.
Yeah, and who is this powers from above? So all of these people need to come out clearly and say, this is what is, because if the government claims that, it's not the government claiming. If the people are claiming that this was not done in the right channels, let the government come out and say, you broke the law. This is not how you do things. This is what we had asked for. This is what we had asked for. Now we hear that. In fact, I think it's even speculations from the government to say they wanted to launch their movement through this event.
And have they even talked about it?
Who? The Ghanaian government?
The government.
No, nobody has come out.
So it's people who are speculating.
So we don't know what was happening in Ghana, and it sparked a lot of debate within and amongst our brothers and sisters in the continent, in the diaspora. People have been vested in this event, and everybody wants to know. We are still waiting.
We are still waiting
to know who is on the wrong, who is on the right. If Nana is on the wrong, call him out. Let us know. this is what he did. This is how it's supposed to be done. So, guys,
Sure.
you will be letting us know in the comment section what you feel about when you read the comments about this event. I swear it's a war in the comment section.
I know.
Everywhere, everybody was reported about this. It's just caught torn apart. In fact, even right now, I know some of you are like, what is this sister talking about? She doesn't know what she's saying. What is this brother talking about? But yeah, everybody has their own view. They have their own way of looking at things. This is how we are seeing things. You might be right. We might be wrong. We don't know. We are still waiting for
more information. Yeah. So we can jump to Nigeria.
Please.
And we've been seeing President of Nigeria, Tinubu himself. What is the other name? Bola Tinubu. He, I think this week or last week, he suspended the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. And the minister has a very weird name, Minister of Poverty Alleviation and Humanitarian Affairs. Poverty Alleviation and Humanitarian Affairs.
We have our sister Clean Black Sneakers.
Hello.
Hi, sister. Is she muted?
I had to turn my camera off. I'm camera shy.
All right, no
It's
problem.
me, Renee.
No problem.
You know, can you guys hear me?
Very well.
Oh, okay. First of all, it's very nice to meet you. I love your show.
Thank you so much.
And I love your content. And although I'm from, America, although I'm from there, I'm very concerned about Black people all over the world. That's just the way it is. I felt as though the youth really needed that conference because they were going to get 4 aspects of what was going on. Dr. Arcana, she's very nurturing, and she's passionate. So they would have got that. Professor would have brought the history, Julius Malema would have brought the pep talk. And Mr. Obi would have had people see the financial side of things. And, and that's all I had to say, because I don't know everything that's going on there, but to deny the youth, to me, is to deny progress.
That's true.
And, that's all I had to say.
Thank you so much. And we definitely agree with you. It was very wrong for them. Even if they felt like maybe it's another agenda being disguised in this Pan-Africanism, they shouldn't have cancelled that event there and there. Maybe they should have said, let your speakers speak, but you will shut up. You as Nana Bediako, you don't have to come out and speak anything because you have invited these people to speak to these young people, not you. If they fear that he will now come out and say, I'm running for presidency. It was very wrong, and I still stand on the fact that they shouldn't have stopped the event.
Although I also feel like there's someone who is scared of the young people of Africa waking up.
Probably having this guy being elected as the president or something. Or
even running. You can see what is happening in, the Sahel. And they are scared something like that could happen to their countries.
But another thing I believe that it showed people who want to know the truth. And it brought all those people out. So when you have truth tellers and truth seekers, coming together, that means you have formed some type of bond. Because now as a group, you have been, that was humiliating, but that press conference was really a great comeback. Because they still got a taste of, what was going to happen there at the conference. And it was all good. And I don't understand. But it is what it is. Youth, please don't give up. Don't give up. That's all. And I'm talking to the youth all over the world. I don't know who can hear me, but don't give up. Don't give up. It's not our plan as older people to let y'all down. It really isn't. There's some of us out here that we really understand that it's time for the youth to take over. We understand, and we're willing to help if y'all let us, if y'all listen, because we're listening to you. And that's all I gotta say.
And it's so humbling to have you part of
Thank
our
you so
audience.
much.
Thank you so much.
And actually, this has reminded me of Senegal. In Senegal, there's this young Pan-Africanist whose name is Ousmane Sonko. And when he speaks about, you might think it's Ibrahim Traore. And people are amazed by him. I am also thinking that probably Ghana is scared that someone like that may rise from this conference, and they'll have to deal with him the way Senegal is dealing with Ousmane Sonko. And now they have stopped him from running for president because he's a force they've never seen before. Yeah.
And we can only hope that they will not now put some, because I've seen the spokesperson is being arrested by the government. She's Belgian.
Yeah.
So now it's just to do with immigration laws and I don't know what. So I also hope that they will not now start looking for things, to arrest the Diaco. So having leaders that pose as Pan-Africanists, well, he might be a Pan-Africanist. You guys are the judges. The president of Ghana.
Yeah. He had the year of return 2019, and we celebrated him. We loved it.
If you are a Pan-Africanist, him being a president, even if they were to say he didn't follow the right channels, he should have stood up for that Pan-Africanist part of that event and said, nah, let them continue for the sake of Pan-Africanism. We can deal with other things after. We can now take this person in charge for doing unlawful things when he was saying he's doing a Pan-Africanist event. That is the way I would have looked at it as a Pan-Africanist president. But we have all these presidents coming out and saying reparations, we need this for Africa, you guys know. And then in the ground,
he's doing other bad things against Pan-Africans.
Right.
Yeah,
so we just have to stay out of the confusion. Keep reporting the facts like you guys do. Like I said, I love your research, and I love the way you can translate that French into English the way you do while you're reading it.
Yeah, we have to.
Because I could never.
Yeah.
We have to.
I love
if
that.
we don't.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good skill. And I appreciate you guys. And I'm going to go back in the chat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
We love and appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, we love you. And I love you guys more.
Thank you.
Okay, back in the chat.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much, our sister. Yeah. So, wow, that reminded me of Ousmane Sonko. And you remember we reported some time about Ousmane Sonko, and people were amazed because nobody knew that there was someone like that. And we said that if Ousmane Sonko had to become the president of Senegal, Senegal would definitely join Mali and Burkina Faso. Yeah, AES. But they looked for things. Took him to court. The court actually even said that he needs to be reinstated on the list of those who will be fired. Yeah. Then the lawyer and some other guys were going to collect the papers. They were barred from taking the papers. When they got the papers and taking it, the electoral commission, they were told you are missing, I don't know, bank something statement, or they needed to pay some amount of money. So Ousmane Sonko is out. But the last time I talked to a Senegalese, he told me that they are trying to back another guy with a vision of Sonko.
Similar to him.
Yeah, so they are trying to back up another guy so that this guy can become the president. And if he becomes the president, we'll still have Sonko.
One thing for sure. So yeah, what did I want to say? I'm just confused now. Hi, sister. So one thing for sure is that you can never kill the spirit of Pan-Africanism. You might assassinate some of these leaders. You might stop them from speaking. You might shut them up, but you never kill the spirit of Pan-Africanism. So if Sonko is not allowed to run, somebody else will come out. In Burkina Faso, I know for sure those guys had lost hope for their country. Yeah. But look at them now. Traoré, the man has risen.
It came from nowhere. We never expected it. Actually, even Niger, because Niger was completely out of the lines of Burkina Faso and Mali. We just heard of a coup, and wow, we have this Abdurrahman Tiani who's saying he's very old and
he's not interested. His life doesn't interest him anymore. He's just doing this for his people, for his country.
Exactly.
So
we go back to Nigeria. So we have the Minister of Poverty Alleviation and Humanitarian Affairs, who was sacked by President Bola Tinubu for moving part of a lot of amount of money into his bank account.
Embezzlement
of funds. And it was very weird because
the same person who's fighting poverty is stealing money from the people.
Imagine. Poverty alleviation, but people are joking that he's alleviating poverty from his own, his own home.
But look at the leadership. I think you can blame him and not blame him. The foundation or the leadership of the country determines the rest of the other, small positions that are helping to build that country. If you have a shaky foundation, it is very easy for the rest of the guys to do whatever they want.
So her name is Betty Edu, and she diverted 585 million naira, about $640,000 of public money into a personal bank account.
Hey,
that's a lot of money.
Chineke.
Wow.
How do you even do that without feeling bad about it?
$640,000 to her personal bank account. So, wow. We have people and animals.
Minister of Poverty.
I think this is the time for Tinubu to do something for his people. We've always known him for being an ECOWAS leader who is moved by Emmanuel Macron.
Guys, when you look at the state of poverty in Nigeria, the state of health, the living conditions of most Nigerians, it's just disappointing. And then you look at the number of rich people in Nigeria, the gap between the two.
Poverty gap, it's called poverty gap.
I think it's poverty gap.
It's very huge because we have the richest man. Well, okay, he's now the second richest in Africa, Aliko Dangote.
After Johan Rupert.
Yeah, he's like the richest person in Africa is in Nigeria, and probably
we can call him the first richest African man.
Yeah.
In
Nigeria, then we have a lot of rich people. By the way, in Nigeria, we have a lot of rich people. Then we have a lot of brilliant people.
Very brilliant.
When you look at people like the people who create those what are they called? Online money transfer.
The Yahoo boys.
No. We have I'm trying to look for the name, but I cannot remember. Like tech guys, a lot of them are from Nigeria, and that's why you hear them talking about the Yahoo boys because they are brilliant
minds
people
who can crack and scam and do everything.
Black people are brilliant. That's for sure. We've seen from everywhere, from United States, from Africa. We've seen that, and Nigeria has big minds. But now, if nobody is supporting them, we even reported of 2 girls who created a water purifying system using just the sun.
It's some high school girls. Is it high school or primary?
It was high school.
Yeah, they look like high school.
And if you look at the brilliant innovations on inventions that are coming out of Nigeria,
probably the leader.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And then you have all Zimbabwe. Of this. Zimbabweans are also brilliant.
Yeah.
You have all of these minds who cannot be grabbed, and a lot of brain drain is going on in Nigeria.
Actually, you have a lot of doctors abroad from Nigeria.
Now you see,
yeah,
there's a lot of poverty for some and a lot of wealth for some. You cannot bring these people together and as the minister of poverty and find ways in which you can alleviate this poverty, you can at least make the systems fair for all. Because if it means that some people are able to fend for themselves and get rich, it means it's possible for everybody else to fend for themselves and at least have a comfortable life. Not everybody is meant to be rich after all. Well, I don't know if that is true, but we can at least have an equal, not even equal, not the gap should not be
that
like,
huge.
Try and minimize the gap so that some people can also survive, even with
actually
whatever
what we need
conditions
is make it easy for people to make their own living.
That's it.
The only thing that government can do is create avenues for people to create jobs, to grow food, and do other things. And even now the healthcare system should be streamlined, education system. But when it comes to wanting everybody to depend on the government, it becomes bad. And that's why you find the government now borrowing from IMF to sustain that, which is not sustainable. But if we had our own people doing things, like for example, you grow food, then we make our own medicine, then we do a lot of other things technology-wise and all that. We provide energy for each other. We will eventually be self-sufficient.
Yeah, but we've seen a lot of governments going the privatization route, and that makes it even more unfair because only the ones who can afford to bribe for tenders, only the ones who are influential are mostly the ones who are able to get those tenders.
To get this. And
then they hike the prices. Now they control all of these things, so they are able to control the prices. A lot of people will now suffer.
And it's those companies which are existing. But if you create ways in which people can now create other companies, you have a lot of them, like in China.
Yeah, like we have seen in Niger. Niger has decided to nationalize its drinking water sector, and it has taken it from a French company.
So
when you see countries privatizing, and you see the ones that are working for the benefit of their population, as Niger, the AS countries always say, we are doing this for the betterment of our countries and our people. So when you see them nationalizing, it's because they know that if we are the ones who are in control as the government, we are the ones who have the interest of these people. And then you see some are privatizing. It shows you that we have a long way to go as Africa.
I don't think privatizing, although privatizing means like the government can have 49%, the people can have 50%, 51%, 49 or 51, that, or 20-80. So what Niger did with the water sector was something wonderful. I think it was long overdue, because if someone is providing your food, your water, they can do anything to mess up with you, and they control you, because water is life. Water is life, and they only need to put some things to make you, dormant.
That's it.
Docile, and they will rule you for life. So what they did was amazing.
And then we saw Gabon taking an oil company from USA. So USA was owning, it's the largest largest oil producing company in Gabon, and they took it back from the US. We had our own reservations about this. For me, it was not celebration because up to this point, Gabon is.
We still don't believe it. It was a genuine coup because it was supported by France and the other guys, not like Niger, because they are still singing Niger when they already come. They already come with Gabon. But there was a post in Instagram, NWE, and they posted companies from Gabon which produce a lot of plywood, softwood, and all that, using their own trees. Like they stopped the cutting and the exporting of raw materials, raw trees from Gabon, and through that they have companies which are generating a lot of processed wood materials. But people came out to say these companies, although local and have created a lot of employment, they are also owned mostly by Indians, and they mistreat people, and they also, they also pay them meager wage. But can we say it's better? No, it's not. We need our people to do that.
Yeah.
And that's where now we can say, when we look at what the president of Ghana did in 2019, we said year of return 2019. We were expecting our people from the US, our people from the UK would come and be those investors and also work with our people in the motherland so that together we can build
Africa.
Like, let me go back to Nana Kwame. And I've been saying this for the longest in this channel and everywhere. If we are always disrespected as the black people by the Western people, by the white people, we are always disrespected.
Are we even black people at this point?
Okay, we are.
As the African
we are varying. Let's say we are varying race of colors, because we come from black to from people of, let's say, black, because they are almost the people of South Sudan, to very light people.
I'm not black.
People. We are brown. So it's a range of colors, and that's why in the US they call them colored people.
Is it colored mixed race?
No, colored.
Colored is South Africa.
No, forget about South Africa.
What about the US is colored?
When in the US, when you say colored, it's that range of people who are not that pink like the white man. Because it's pink. Let us be.
And they chose white.
Yeah, they chose white and black, but it's a range of colors. You have pink, pale, and all that. So we are
pink, pale.
We are disrespected, and the reason why we are disrespected is we can say we don't have something to show and say we have this development. One thing is because they took our brothers and sisters through slavery. They came back and colonized us and took everything that we have. After colonization, they raised puppets who now continue to keep the resources and they take them out. But if we can come together, like we are talking about the year of return 2019, if our brothers and sisters came back to Ghana and the Ghanaian government said, you are our people, raise money, like what Dr. Arikana is doing, raise money together, come and create a company in Ghana, and we will give you maybe a part of the gold mining in which you mine. You create companies, processing companies here, then process things, make rings, make gold, gold things, ornament, jewelry. Then you can look for market. This is what you'll be giving Ghana. This is what is, right now, even Professor PLO Lumumba talked about this and said, these people are getting like 10% after their gold is mined and taken away.
In Ghana.
But I'm talking about a scenario where he brings back our people, like he did, wonderful. Then he gives them, it will come together. You have your little money. When you bring it together, it's dollars. It becomes something huge. You create companies here, mining companies. You mine, like Akon was talking about mining in DRC. You mine, you process it here. So you create jobs for those people who are of low, we can say, caliber. Then you make more money for Ghana. A lot of our brothers and sisters in the US would love to come back home because they are also mistreated in the US, police brutality. We have seen that. This will be an easier way to come back and make a home for themselves in the motherland. And if we did this, come together, do this together, Africa would grow and people would stop disrespecting us. Because Chinese people are also disrespected some long time ago. And sometime it came and said they are the people who make fake things. Now, what are we talking about China?
But do you think our leaders don't know all of these things? Or once you get in power, they remind you who put you in power?
Yeah, that's the
problem.
problem.
And then they remind you that is not the agenda that we put you for. And then you just have to shut up and follow the...
Do you know one person who can easily do that? Ibrahim
Traore,
because he put himself there.
And Goita Simi. So
those guys can do that. Even Mamadou Doumbouya, the president of Guinea, he can do that.
Yeah. So we have a begging mentality. We have a white savior mentality. and it's so difficult to remove it, even to small kids. Growing up, they already see a white kid is better off.
Yeah.
A light-skinned colored kid is more beautiful. So that mentality to us as Africans is the worst thing that has ever happened to us.
Yeah.
And then we saw recently Sweden trying to be all bougie and claim that Mali will suffer because they have cut out aid for Mali because they supported Russia.
Yeah.
You know, during UN General Assembly, I don't know what meeting. So you see that whole mentality of thinking that Africans depend on the West, you depend on us, we are the saviors. If we cut aid for you guys, you are done. You shall die like flies. And then we saw Mali not even bothered by all of this because they claim that they are cutting development aid. Which development has ever happened with that Swedish
development
small
aid?
money?
Actually, development. Even there's a book which talks about aid. It's like the worst thing that is happening to
development Africa. Aid, and then they're saying we won't be cutting out food, I don't know, medical aid, whatever, but we are cutting If you were to look at Mali, the state of Mali right now, with these Swedish companies, with all of these foreign companies, even their military is claiming that they are protecting them, it has been the worst situation for centuries and years. Now that they are getting out all of these people from their countries, that is when the change is starting to happen. Burkina Faso has been transformed in just a year. Mali is working on itself. They are not begging for aid. You shall see the results. And that is where maybe Africans will wake up to say, wow, so this thing is possible. So we have been lied to all along. When Burkina Fasos and your Malis start doing these things for themselves and prospering, that is when all of us will wake up, because our presidents are so scared of leaving these guys, because when they think about not having IMF loan, they know
we are done with it.
Done. How do I even pay civil servants?
That is the problem. That is the biggest problem, because it's like we are slaves of these multinationals.
Continued
then Kenyan president appointed a chancellor for the biggest university of Nairobi, and
maybe we can just share a picture.
There was an uproar with people.
Oh man!
With people, with people saying no, this is not so good, and this is the new chancellor.
Do we say congratulations?
That is the new chancellor of the biggest university in Kenya. That is the University of Nairobi. He's Dutch, and he's the director and CEO of GCA, Global Climate Adaptation Organization. So you see what we are saying. It's like our presidents don't believe in our people,
and that's what irritates Museveni.
All
the time when he speaks, he's just concerned about us Africans, who are always trying to align ourselves with the white man because we think that's the guy that will save us.
That is a point. It's like we don't believe in our people anymore. We don't believe we could use our people to develop our countries. And that's why we don't do mining. We
don't even teach mining in our schools.
We don't even create curriculums for our people. We create curriculum based on our colonizers. Ibrahim Traore's prime minister of Burkina Faso was talking about us, them having two constitutions. One came with the second, I think the first president coming with it in his pocket. The other one was written by another guy who's French. It's like, I read something and give you so that you can run with it. And he was asking, how do we do that? What do we do with it? So it's very weird that we don't believe in ourselves. And I'm hoping that Malema will become the president of South Africa, so that we can see what will happen, because he rhymes with these guys. Will he join them? I would love to see that.
I think we have covered everything for the day. Unless you have another topic to talk about.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, because in conclusion, I would love us to look at some of the comments from the different videos that we posted. We always love to interact with you guys. Sometimes it gets highly overwhelming because you receive a lot of comments and you can't respond to all of them. But this is the chance to read some of your comments. So, on to this video about Sweden cancelling aid to Mali. Aid is a backdoor corruption, and Africa really needs partnership and not aid. Can't agree more. All right, and let's go to this one. ECOWAS on fire. The shocking lawsuit that will shake Africa. Well, there's a comment here that says, yes, the youth must stand strong for Africa. Africa not for sale and not slaves. Africa must fight against those exposed. The people of Africa, health, wealth, and resources. Africa must take back Africa, resources and riches and wealth, and the African people's youth. Yeah, so much. She has written a lot. Yeah, he or she. All right, and then we have. Okay, yeah. And then we have Kenya's biggest visa lie. There's a comment here that visa-free ni upuzi.
Meaning it's stupid. Or it's stupidity or something. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we didn't talk about the visa-free scandal of Kenya, but
now it's better having the visa like than this visa-free, because you are used to visa on arrival. Visa on arrival.
And a lot of countries were exempted.
Yeah, visa on arrival is the best.
Yeah. All right, and then we have wait. This one here says, all Black people loves you.
We love you too.
Also in the diaspora. All right, thank you for the love. This other comment, I'm trying to get from other videos, but just apart from. Oh, okay, maybe we can just stop it there.
Let me see this. The time has come for Africa to take its rightful place on the world stage, and the true elders are finally standing in full support of the youth, finally taking their stand, because they are the future and we are not passing this curse on to them to end now. Great blessings and full support to Dr. Arikana, Professor PLO Lumumba, and all the others who stand for true justice and freedom. Enough is enough. Yay!
And that is the Nana video, the Pediaco video.
Yeah.
So maybe lastly we can read this one. This person took their time to write.
This is from don't be deceived. This is from Museveni.
Yeah.
He said, others can interfere in our internal affairs in Africa, because when we invade the social media asking others to help us feed our orphanage, our children, we can't look after. When a few years ago we are complaining the others haven't provided us COVID-19, we have the moral obligation not to condemn in principle the interference of others in our internal affairs. The ministry of our kids is our internal affairs. So he's trying to say that we need to be independent in what we are doing, independent of doing our own things. Yeah. And he's saying we should not allow them to come and interfere with our internal affairs. Yeah. So we have another one where it says, she says, Viva Africa! Great leaders inspire Africans. If God is on Africans' people's side, who can be against us? God bless Africa. Down with puppet leaders who favor the West. Together we stand firm. Yes. Puppet leaders have problem with Pan-Africanists, but they have no problem with corruption and pastors who do crazy things to Africans. I think she's talking about the new expose on, what was his name? No, the pastor.
The pastor from Nigerian one.
Joshua.
Yeah.
What was his name? Was it Joshua? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, TB Joshua.
Yeah. Yeah, so there are a lot of wonderful comments.
Yeah, and thank you so much for being so active in our comment section. We receive a lot of comments all the time.
Yeah.
So some people, I think it's good for us to read this one. if you may.
What is saying? This is the story about Ghana.
Just to show the controversy.
It's saying at the what prevents you and your country to host the event? Is Ghana the only African country? We are not interested in deceitful and doubtful personalities. For your information, the event was not about Pan-Africanism. It's all about a launch of political party. No one is pro-Africa than the current president of Ghana. That is someone who supports the current president of Ghana. So
they feel that we are...
It's saying that the event was not about Pan-Africanism. But the event was all... If you looked at even the poster, it was all about Pan-Africanism. It was about waking Africa.
The speakers. In fact, the message that these guys were there to deliver, I even doubt that they were there to endorse this guy I think as a leader.
This is one of the people who needed waking up.
Well.
Do you think Professor PLO Lumumba would leave Kenya, go to Ghana just to vote for this guy?
Yeah, to endorse a political
Those
leader.
guys are very serious when it comes to Pan-Africanism. And guys, I don't know if people know what these guys are doing in Africa. PLO has a PLO Foundation. Which is doing wonderful with partnership with a lot of other people. Some people are fighting for our seats because our presidents have been, I don't want to say they have come together with the likes of no, I won't say.
No, maybe we can close the live here.
So the GMO seeds are being brought here, and when GMO comes here, our original seeds will be done with. And there are people who are trying to store our seeds, our original seeds, fight for them.
Food.
There are people who are supporting young people, young entrepreneurs, young creators, so that Africa can also create and join the fifth industrial revolution. There are a lot of people doing things, and PLO Lumumba is one of them. So I don't think
serious person.
He's a serious person. I don't think he just left Kenya, went to Ghana just to say vote for this guy. No. For these guys, national politics is not in their mind. They talk about one Africa. Yeah, it's global, it's continental.
How do we make Africa better?
Yeah.
How do we open borders so that
they don't talk about Kenya or Ghana or Senegal.
None of their interests.
They talk about one Africa, no borders, abolish the borders, no visa, all those things. So we need to wake up
it's good to see what other people think about this whole event, because their argument was it's a political party launch, which nobody has verified information about it. It's just speculations, honestly.
Yeah, there's another person who's saying that I wish you could contact the 4 leaders and put their prepared speeches on video and distribute through Africa. It's 2024. Use technology. The message cannot be killed, but leaders can. Make the video and pay the leaders.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another one says the president of Ghana is taking orders from the West. They are not to educate their youths. And Dr. Arikana talked about she said that the worst person that's the biggest problem that we're having in Africa is the colonized mind. People who are already they are already mentally colonized. Those are the biggest problem that we have right now in Africa. And she also talked about our people not having the education that coincides to what we are, but we have the education from the colonizer, So we have all that problem. That's why you find a lot of people who comment and say, we love our president, blah, blah, blah. This thing was not Pan-Africanist. But they didn't even know. They are just talking.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. I think at this point, we have talked about what we wanted to talk about, and it was just exciting to see you coming in and coming out. And thank you so much, our sister, for joining us live.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you so much, and we always see you in the comments. Your support is just, it's just out of this world. At this point, we just want to say Thank you. Please never stop. And where you feel like we need, we are the young generation. I think we are young minds who are still also trying to grow and understand things better and do some of research, trying to understand. Maybe you can also be helping us, guiding us how we can do it in the comment section. Some people feel like we are being ignorant at some topics. It's also good to see another viewpoint of whatever you think of a topic. We always take it positively, because when you say stop being ignorant, we do more research to see where did we lose it. So it's always good. Never stop correcting us and never stop commenting however you see it. But there's some people just have a way of commenting in a very rude way. That one I would not comment it. Even if it's a positive criticism, put it in a very nice way, because if you put it in a wrong way, it's hard even to accept some things. Yeah, so thank you guys. Let us continue doing this thing. We are doing this for Africa, not for ourselves. We are trying to build the young people of Africa. Most of us have never been interested in politics, but the more you realize that things are getting out of hand, the more you see that, nah, man, we need to wake up. We need to join this movement. We need to understand things better. Yeah, I don't know what you have to say as closing.
I think thank you so much, guys, and thank you for watching. And if you come later and watch this video and you have not subscribed, please do leave a comment. Let us know where you are from, where you're watching from, and what you think about all this, and what do you wish for Africa of tomorrow. We'll see
you again.
Next videos of through the week and next live session in the weekend.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.